Hello, you Revealed Live family. Okay, I think we are live and we've got it all kind of figured out here. I don't know why sometimes we have these reception problems, but I'm so grateful that you kind of stick with me. So, hello, you Revealed Live family. This is Tracey Knight, your self-mastery coach. I'm broadcasting live here from Hilton Head, South Carolina. I've had an amazing time here. Hey, Kurt. Good to see you. Hey, Shannon. Good to see you. I've had an amazing time here in Hilton Head, even though it's been super cold. And you know I do not like the cold. But I've just had an amazing time here getting to know new friends and spending time with old friends. I come to a conference here each year and it's just been amazing and transformative. It's exactly what the soul needs. And, we do have to take time for self-care. Self-care, people oftentimes think that self-care is about going and getting a massage, or you've got to do something, like you have to go and spend money to take care of self. But self-care is really... it's a state of mind. It's a state of being. It's being in the posture of receiving what God is giving us. Like He's giving us the love at all times, and it's showing up through other people, through experiences. If we just put ourselves in the situation to receive that, then hey, we can really benefit. So that's what I've done. I've definitely had some downtime while I'm here, and but I had to get up this morning so I could be here with you guys. Just cannot. Just my day is not going to be right if I'm not here with you, even for those 10, 15, 20 minutes that we're on. So thanks, Kurt. Yes, renewing the mind. Absolutely. Because sometimes I'm like praying for clarity. You know how we do that, right? Like we pray for clarity. We pray for God to eliminate or alleviate our suffering. The suffering that we have created. And we already know that He can definitely take the mess that we create out of our own life and make it meaningful. And, before I left, I was praying on a particular situation in my life. And I definitely, from the moment I got in the car, got clarity on it. And so sometimes if we just wait, I could be doing a whole show on this. This is not even the lesson for today, but we're going to tie it in. From the moment that I got into the car, that clarity, because I was in the posture of God teach me, that clarity came, and it came through someone else sharing something with me. So today's topic is on the power of acceptance and how it really is the key. It's the cure to alleviate suffering. It also forges the pathway to liberation. I'm sitting here, I was talking to a friend, Tanya. She's sitting in the room with me right now. And we were talking about obedience and discipline, and how, in our lives, she and I both have had this experience with food where, our bodies are telling us that it does not want something. It doesn't want us to eat certain things. Like for me, it does not want me to eat foods that turn to sugar in my body because it doesn't want it. And here's the other thing that I know in terms of clarity, like the sugar, the just pure sugar, eating stuff that like the high carbohydrate diet and processed foods, the whites, all of that, white sugar, white flour, white potatoes, white rice, it turns to sugar in everybody's body, but in my body. And then it creates this foggy head thing going on in my life. And I can't really think clearly. I can't think clearly. I can't receive clearly. And I started this journey back in like the 90s, right? And hey, Lisa. And, the more I took that out of my diet, the clearer I have become. Like I can hear God clear. Like I can hear my higher power, God in me, as me, through me, directing my footsteps. I can sense the intuition better. So there isn't a lot of ambiguity around what I should do. A lot of times I just don't like what I'm being told to do, but that doesn't mean that it's not there. It's there, and that's why I want to talk about acceptance. See, the pain that we feel most of the time in our life is because we have not gotten to a place of acceptance. But it is the acceptance that eliminates the pain. We most of the time think that we know what is best. So with the food, and Tanya was saying this earlier. Tanya, I can share this? Tanya was saying earlier, she said, I feel like, why can't I eat what everybody else eats? Why do I have to feel like I have to have something different? And I can relate to that, because so often I was like, well, why can't I just do it the way that I want to do it? Why can't I do, because I love like Twizzlers. We've talked about this before. I love all kind of junk candy. I'm like, why can't I have that? Why can't I have that? Never gain weight with it. Never have the foggy head with it. Why can't I just binge eat on that and be good, And Kurt says he's eating right for your blood type. And people have found these pathways through different methodologies, through different models, which I know Eat Right for Your Blood Type does well for some people. And so there isn't any one way. Everybody has to find their own way. And so, but to me, the real issue is the acceptance. Like Kurt has accepted that this is what he wants to do for his life. And then you become disciplined and obedient in that. When you see that it works for your life, the suffering is created by pushing up against what we already know as truth. See, it's not as if God is not talking to us at all times and telling, we just don't like what he's saying. We're like, really? Are you sure that's what you meant? Maybe you need to go back and think about it for a minute. Are you sure that's what you meant? Let me tweak it a little bit. Because then that would require me to this, and this, and this. If you want me to go that path. And I know you couldn't be asking me to do that. See, we just don't like what we're being asked to do. But we do know what we're being asked to do. The body and everything else in our life is not just about the food. It's showing up in every other area of our life. It's showing up in relationships. It's saying, yep, let that go. Let that go. And you're just like, no, because if I let go of that, I won't have sex. I got to go out here and date again. I got to go out here and be vulnerable again. You got to be vulnerable at all times if you're going to be with spirit, But it's like you're resisting. And what Kurt is saying is he said Kurt said he's trying to lose a whole person. I misread that. I thought he said he was trying to be a whole person. But I'm going to transcribe that, Kurt, and say you are working to be whole in your person. And in that process, you will lose a whole person. You will let go. I won't say lose, because a lot of times when we lose stuff, we want to find it again. So we will release the part of us that hey Latrice, we will release the part of us that we no longer need anymore. We don't need that person to protect us. I was saying to Tanya that I know that for all of us, weight, because I put on a little weight recently because I had gone through some things recently. I'm rebranding the business and had a little breakup in my life and, just a lot of stuff going on. And when I'm stressed, I tend to go to the chips, chips and tortillas and blah, 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 blah. And it's all to put on an overcoat of protection because we don't feel safe. We don't feel safe because we haven't accepted that there is an answer to every problem. All we have to do is be willing to receive that and to know that our higher power really does know best. I am convinced that I do not know what is best for me. I'm convinced of that because a lot of the decisions I make bring suffering into my life. And it brings pain. When I say suffering, I'm talking about, hey Lisa, I'm talking about pain, like ambiguity, being unclear about direction, being scared. That's a clear indication. If you're scared, if you're frightened, if you feel nervous, if you feel anxious, that is a clear indicator that humanity is in control, that she is not certain and cannot be certain because she, that part of us, is always looking to the future, worried about it and lamenting over the past. It's a clear indication that spirit is not leading it because spirit doesn't worry about any of that because it already has the global picture. It already has the global picture. So I want to read this real quick. I'm reading from The Language of Letting Go today from Melody Beatty because I'm here at a Coda workshop. So acceptance, right? So our basic healing, let's just say journey to self-mastery. I'm tweaking the words a little bit because she talks about recovery and everybody doesn't consider themselves in recovery for codependency. So I'm tweaking it because it is applicable. So our basic journey to self-mastery. So she says our basic concept that never loses its power when we're on this journey to self-mastery is to work miracles is the concept of acceptance. We do not achieve acceptance in the moment. We often have to work through a mirage of feelings. Sometimes we're working through anger. Sometimes we're working through outrage, through shame, through self-pity and sadness. But if acceptance is our goal, we will achieve it. Hey, Andre, what is more freeing than to laugh at our weaknesses and to be grateful for our strengths? To know the entire package called us. Isn't that amazing? Yes. With all of our feelings, all of our thoughts, all of our tendencies, and our history is worthy of acceptance and bringing healing feelings. To accept our circumstances is another miraculous cure. For anything to change or anyone to change, we must first accept ourselves, accept others, and accept the circumstances exactly as they are. Exactly as they are. Like not trying to change it, not trying to make it mean something, but just accepting that it is what it is. Then we need to take it one step further. We need to become grateful for ourselves and our circumstances. We add a touch of faith by saying, I know this is exactly the way it's supposed to be for the moment, because it's not forever. It's not fatal and it's not forever. No matter how complicated we get, the basics never lose their power to restore us to sanity. And so what she's really saying there is that acceptance really is what restores us to sanity. And the sanity is when we feel a sense of contentment in our being, in our spirit. We don't feel that angst and anxiety and fear and worry and doubt and shame and guilt and resentment. Like we don't feel all of that because we're in a state of harmony. Hey, Mark. Because we have finally accepted. I wanted to go back to the beginning though, where it says, we do not achieve acceptance in the moment. Sometimes this is a process. Now it does not have to be a long process. Not sometimes it's a process. It is a process. It is a process, but does not have to be a long process. Doesn't have to be a long process. We make it long because we have resistance. But when we really stand down and just allow things to be as they are, which requires us to acknowledge the anger, it requires for us to acknowledge the outrage and the shame and the self-pity and the sadness. And definitely over the last, I would say 30, 45 days, I definitely have had a range of feelings and experiences. And, I've gotten to the point now where I don't fight it. I am acknowledging it. I'm just allowing it to be. And even though I want to hurry up and get on the other side of it, I can't hasten myself through that. We can never hasten it because we're not really in control of it. And that trying to hasten it is trying to control it, is trying to manipulate it. So how does all of this relate back to the whole food piece and the obedience and the discipline? Well, it relates back because obedience is acknowledging that you don't always know what is best, but our higher power has a global picture and has put you here as the creation and knows what she wants you to do, wants us to do for our life. And so to be obedient to that is to accept that this is what it is. It's not me. It's God. It's God's life. Like it's my life, but it's God in me, as me, through me, wanting me to fulfill this purpose. And part of that process is to get in alignment, whether it's with foods, in relationships, in our health, in our career, in our purpose, is to say, I will be obedient to this because something, a power greater than me, knows what is best, and I will comply with that. I lay down my will. In recovery, in Codependency Anonymous recovery, we say we turn our will, which is we turn our will and our life over to the care of God of our own understanding. Our will and our life. So what does will mean? Will means our problems. See, we don't have problems when we have given everything over to God. We no longer have the problem. It just becomes an action item like us waiting for God to tell us what to do. The problem no longer becomes ours. We've turned it over, right? So that's our will. Now, we also have the will to keep holding on to stuff. But when we do that, then we create the suffering. Then we have to figure it out. We have to have all the answers. And again, I'm very clear that I do not have all the answers. I'm very clear about that. And you keep hitting your head up against a brick wall, you will figure out that you don't have all the answers. That the answers will come to you and through you. So to turn them over like, okay, higher power of your own understanding, whatever that is, and you say, okay, what is it that I should be eating? What plan is best for my body? You listen to that. What type of relationships do I want to magnetize into my relationship? What relationships do I need in order to elevate your will? You know, this is what eliminates the problems that we have in our life. Money, big one. People are always like, oh, I don't have enough. So they're out and on the grind and on the hustle to get money, when the focus should be on healing and serving humanity through the talent, skills, gifts, and abilities that you have been given, because you didn't create them. And so the money comes as a result of that. But what we do is focus on getting to the outcome, the effect, the money. And so what we do is we create the suffering of, we got to grind, we got to hustle, we got to worry about where it's coming from. We're being disobedient. It's a lack of obedience. And then we say we turn our will and our life over to the care of God, of our own understanding. Our life, we're turning all of our thoughts over. That's what it means. It means to turn our thoughts over. So that when we get to this point of acceptance, it's not as if the thoughts don't come. But I was saying this to myself this morning. I was having a thought about this prior problem, because I no longer have a problem with it because I've turned it over. I made a decision to turn it over. So when the thoughts have been coming, I said, I don't need to go there again. I've already decided. I've turned this over to the care of God. And I'm going to redirect myself over in that direction. And I'm going to wait with bated breath for my higher power to direct my footsteps next. So I'm just retraining the mind, retraining the thoughts to know that all is taken care of. Turn it over. All is taken care of. It's good. Now, all of this has come on the back end of allowing myself to have already felt. I felt anger. I felt guilt. I felt resentment. I felt shame. I've done all that. And so now you can't stay there. That's what makes it long. That's what makes it hard and arduous. Is that we stay in, the feelings are meant to pass through us. Remember, we talked about that. Feelings are just your GPS system. It's meant to be like the lady on there guiding you, like, okay, we need to do something different now. That's all it's meant to be. But it's not meant for us to stay there in it. It's meant to pass through us. But we get stuck and want to hold on to it and then guide our whole life by that. Like, yep, somebody hurt me, and so I ain't gonna never love again. I'm going to stay right here in this anger, in this resentment forever. And I ain't going to never have another relationship that allows me to really be open and fully love, which means you cannot feel and experience your higher power if you don't allow yourself to love. Because your higher power lives in where? Vulnerability. That's where she lives. So all I'm saying to us is getting to this place of acceptance, turning our life and our will over to the care of God, of your own understanding, every single second of every day. There is no problem, there is no circumstance, there is no situation that cannot and will not be resolved. Every problem has a solution. Our biggest problem is that we don't feel like we have the answer. So let go of the notion, the idea that you feel like you got to have the answer to it. It alleviates all the suffering and forges the pathway for clarity and liberation. I'm trying to liberate my life. Trying to be in a relaxed state down in Hilton Head. That's what I'm trying to do. All right, that's it for today. Let me see what Kurt said. Kurt says, don't go and pick it back up. That's right. That we don't go once we've turned it over and then go pick it back up. I really didn't understand what that meant because I'm so used to being in control of everything. And now I'm learning I don't have to be in control of everything. If my higher power, who I choose to call God, has been able to create the planets and the universe, surely he can handle this. I mean, it just seems like common sense to me. But I'm so arrogant as to think that I have to pick it back up and I have to manipulate it and I have to. But what I really want to do is to be in a state of acceptance. So I'm going to close with this affirmation. Today, higher power, help me practice the concept of acceptance in my life. Help me accept myself. Help me accept others, and help me to accept my circumstances. Take me one step further and help me to feel grateful, because I do think that the gratitude piece, I was listening to Tiffany, what's her name? Haddish. Tiffany Haddish yesterday. I'm gonna have to do a whole show on this, but I'm gonna make this real quick. Hey Frida, thank you. Blessings to you as well. She said I may not get this right the way she quoted it, but she said every single, challenging situation that we go through has 3 blessings that come from it. And I thought to myself, let's end with this. Every single challenging situation has 3 blessings that come from it. Okay? So I want us to go to a challenging situation that we are having right now, or maybe that we've moved through in some way. And I would like for us to, now that we're on the other end, first of all, let's make sure we're not still holding on and being attached to stuff. We've come to accept it, right? And now I want us to look for just 3 blessings that have come out of it that does not demean the other person, or has shut you down. Like, I'm glad I figured it out because now I know not to love. That's crazy. Okay, no, we're not living like that. How about, I was telling Tanya today, I said, back in the 90s, I had this real health crisis, around sugar. This is just a simple one, but you can do it in relationships. And, I went to the doctors with hives. They couldn't figure it out. They were like, you're just going to be on prednisone for the rest of your life. And I was like, absolutely not. That whole situation where I was so sick, I didn't even know I had the allergy to sugar, and neither did they. Sent me, first of all, it forced me to take my health into my own hands. Blessing number 1. I no longer allowed myself to turn my power and my will and my thoughts, my decision making, hey James, over to the care of a doctor. The doctor became my consultant and not my God. He became my consultant. So I utilize the information that he gives me to make an informed decision about myself, but with my higher power guiding me. Thank you, James. So that was a blessing. I took back my power. Okay. The second thing that happened was I got a closer walk with my higher power. It just naturally came because I was like, the only person that can heal me now is God. Now, what he did is he healed me through other people and my modalities that I was guided to. Because I then was guided to Dr. Baharjwa. Love this man. He's transitioned now. Man saved my life. It's a blessing to learn how to use my intuition to guide me to the right place. Boom, there it is. This modality, that modality. So I learned how to have a closer walk with my higher power and learning how to use my intuition. Blessing number 2. Blessing number 3. If I had done what those doctors told me to do, which is to be on prednisone for the rest of my life, I wouldn't even be here with you right now. I wouldn't be 15 plus years into this blossoming of being a master of my own life. And I couldn't give it to you because I wouldn't have it to give. You can only give what you have. So 3 blessings have come out of that very difficult, very tumultuous situation. And the other part that's tumultuous is that now I still am not really able to eat sugar in that way. And it's changed my diet completely. And I've been healthier than I've ever been. That's a 4th blessing. It's a 4th blessing, but it's put me into clarity. Like it's given me power. So it's blessings that come out of it. So now this is your charge. It's the homework. Let's go. Let's look at a situation that was real challenging to you. And let's look for 3 blessings that have empowered you in a positive way. Not shut you down in your feelings or isolated you. Not that. That's your ego talking to you. I'm talking about what the spirits say it has done to elevate you. Because the spirit will take a situation that is messed up and turn it into something that is like a blessing, like an opportunity, like something that is meaningful. Look for that and then post that in here. So before I leave, I want to remind you to like us, tag us, and share us, because you know we got new times. We broadcasting out of a new fan page. So some of our people still haven't migrated over. So I just would love for you to do this if you are so inclined, if you choose it, right? That's number one. Number two, You Revealed Live, the experience. You have got to come to Atlanta for the boot camp, mental boot camp. See, we'll put ourselves in a physical boot camp, but I'm talking about get this mental boot camp, because do you know that if you can, not if, your commitment, your obedience and discipline to retrain this right here, to get your mind right, will help you to get back better, and everything else will fall into place. Because the reason that we don't lose the weight or get on a new diet, right here. The reason that we're not on purpose, we haven't found the new career we want, right here. The reason that we haven't attracted the right person into our life, the reason that we feel shut down or unable to love, mental boot camp. I will show you the techniques that I use every single day that you're going to be able to apply in every area of your life. Money, look at your bank account. You want to know what kind of relationship you have with money? You want to know how you believe or whether or not you believe that God is your source? Look at your bank account. Look at your bank account. That will tell you. And even if you have money, because people are like, oh, but you got people like Donald Trump, they got money, but you also have to look at their relationship to it. Okay? You have to look at their relationship to it, because just because a person has money, but if they operate out of greed, if they operate out of hoarding, if they operate out of abusing other people, they still have a poor relationship with money. They still in poverty. They just have this material piece, which will be fleeting, but look at the other pain that they have in their life. So what I'm going to be teaching you is how to transform all this so that you can have healthy relationships and get up every single day feeling invigorated when you go into your career, whatever it is. And then how to materialize abundance and prosperity out of that which you are more, not only just deserving of, it is your natural inheritance to have. $99. Early bird registration will not last. It's only up for about 30 days. So go and register today. There is an urgency. We will sell out and we will not expand the capacity of the conference. You will have to wait a whole nother year. And I'm going to do a different theme every single year. This year's theme, how to get your career and your money to chase you. Period. Boom. That's it. Jennifer is going to post the link for the conference registration in here so you can find it there. In a moment, you'll be able to go to IamTraceyKnight.com to get access. We were finishing up the website. You can go there. It is beautiful, but we still got some tweaking we got to do. So that's number 2. Number 3, if you're ready to create a very clearly defined vision for your life, Vision Quest 2018, hit us up at info@IamTraceyKnight.com and we can get you set up. All you need is 25 people, a willingness to host, which I will incentivize you to do that. Got some great incentives for that. A space, a time, and a date. Boom, we can get it done. We'll be right there. I'm going to come and teach you personally how to create a vision. You're going to come out of there with a visual illustration. Plus, we are going to hone in on the belief systems and the feelings that are serving as barriers right now. I'm going to teach you how to transform those. That's it. This is how we take back, we transform, and we win at our own life. I'll be back again with you tomorrow. Peace.